Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines 2. So we've got the trumpet over here and it's a bit of a slow process. I will redo that one in a future episode. But let's get back to town over here and see what it is that we can actually start growing a little bit. There's been some more changes to the graphics. Yet another update has come through. So I think it's okay for the time being. We started off this little park of ours and we certainly need to detail it a little bit more. Definitely we need to do that. But let's have a quick look at what's going on in our town. I see there's some mods coming out for this. Well, not vanilla mods or developer supported mods at this point in time. So we'll have to see how it goes in the future. But let's have but there's some third party ones and so on. I'm not going to start using them just yet. But I'm sure we'll get into mods in the future. We have a look at our... Okay, there's a bit of issue there. So I don't really care too much about... So this is road condition. Do we not... Come on. What's going on? Do we not have... Bus depot? Taxi depot? We don't have road maintenance, I think. So I think something that we definitely need to have a look at is maybe getting road maintenance going. So let's actually make a start on that. Road maintenance is something that I'm kind of thinking needs to go into this area. So I'm going to start slowly getting rid of some of this industrial use. And what we'll do is we'll expand our industrial areas over here a little bit more. Presumably... let's take off the parking fees there for the time being. Presumably, we can expand industrial all the way along here. Actually, it wouldn't be too bad if we decided to actually just extend this whole key thing a little bit. But what we will need to do, I think. Wow, look at the water. That is just beautiful. And this looks pretty good here as well. You know what I might do is expand this a little bit so that we can get... We do have lots of demand, though, for stuff. What is this one? This is wastewater treatment. Okay, that's fine. This is looking pretty good. Why do we have so many... No. We didn't have all of these smokestacks. And I'm definitely keen on kind of getting rid of them again. Because we were doing a nice warehousey kind of thing here. Okay, bulldoze that project. Let's have a quick look at what's going on here. Give me this tool. And what I'll do is I'm just going to clean that out for a little while. It's not a retaking. That's interesting. So we don't have that demand here. That's interesting. Okay. Well, what we'll do as a starting point, let's get some road maintenance going. So the road maintenance depot, if we can... I just get the view to change a little bit. We do that, right? That gives us access there. Is that pretty reasonable? Oh, I think that's fairly reasonable. Yeah, we've got... Yeah, actually, I don't mind that too much. Yeah, there they go, going to do their thing. In terms of upgrades, we provide space, right? Is this a... Okay, it's just in the building there. Okay, that's fine. So we've got 10 out of 10 of them and they're working. It's costing us a bit of money now, losing a little bit. But hopefully things will slowly start moving back in. We'll see how all of this goes. Anyway, we've got the road maintenance there. I'm going to slowly get rid of some of this stuff here and just move on a little bit from there. So let's have a quick look. So that's the road maintenance there. This is the park. The park needs a name. Actually, at some point, the park needs a bit of a name. This is a pretty nice and nifty little connection all the way to the other side. So don't mind that too much at all. And we at some point need to, let's just expand a little bit over here. So if we grab some of our expansion permits. Let's do a little bit of this. And maybe Actually, I want to grab the rest of the island there. We could obviously extend it a little bit. How many is that now? That is now 19 of 34. This is 19 new ones. Well, let's take a few out over there. Let's take a few out there. Let's add one over there. And that should be okay. That's 14 new permits that we're using there. I don't mind it. Let's add a little bit more through that section over there as well. And even there. There we go. So that gives us a little bit more to go on. 17 additional expansion permits. Let's do that. And let's start by growing our city a little bit more. So if we have a bit of a look here, we've got a fire going on here. I'm assuming the fire department is on the way. Where is the fire department, though? They're coming... Yeah, fire coverage. Still don't see a fire truck. Can we... On fire, dispatching. Earth is gathering. Oh, here we go. Fire truck is here. Do we see them do anything? No. There we go. Okay, so at least we've got that sorted out. Okay. If we're looking at our demands over here, taxes are a bit too high. People are complaining a little bit about them. Unoccupied buildings in terms of medium density. Unoccupied buildings, taxes is a bit, too high, really. High skill labor availability, unoccupied buildings, and taxes. So it's a little interesting. So I think we just need more people, right? If we have a quick look here, workplaces, total workplaces and total employees is pretty much on par, really. We really don't have a lot of workplace availability, but so I think maybe what we need to do is get some more people to move in, and then we'll go on from there. I was kind of interested in upgrading this area a little bit to become more downtown-ish right over here, around this particular area. But a nice little park that we can do here. This can be a nice big intersection, and even we can really expand this a little bit in the future. I may have been a little bit too hasty in putting that one there, but we'll see how it goes. Things are generally working reasonably well. We've got a signal here? That's interesting. I'm hearing this thing, but I didn't know we had a signal in there. I don't know if that's an intelligent maneuver right there. Maybe it is. We need some parking in this area also. Look at all of this parking. There's no parking fee in here at the moment. And we don't generally have parking in this area. So what I thought I might do, because we've got some low rent areas here, I thought maybe we can expand a little bit at the back here. So let's bring in a little bit more road infrastructure right there. Yeah, we'll do the 90 degrees. Like so. And then I thought what we could do, we want to basically tie it in like so, right in front of the clinic there. I think that's pretty good, actually. The question is, so now we can probably expand a little cluster of stuff in here. So let's get ourselves slightly higher density. So we've got high density businesses now, but if we use them in small, small little, so if we were to do that, what would that kind of look like for us? And maybe something like this. Pretty keen to see what those higher densities kind of can look like. Similarly, we don't have high density there yet, but we do now have the ability to do a little bit more high density of this kind of nature. If I were to... Oh, I can't actually do the back there. Okay, that won't actually work because we're zoning from that side. Okay. Well, hang on. If I were to... See, that's something that I think is definitely... See, why is that the case? right? So if we do that instead, let's get rid of that one there. So if we do that, now we've got that zoning there. So if we were to go a slightly bigger, higher density building like so, still just the 2 that we're getting in there. And then from this perspective, I also want us to then do a little bit of a parking area. Maybe, yeah, I'm not too sure. I mean, something like that would make sense, really, if we do that. Get a parking lot in there, and then we do slightly higher density stuff in here. But let's just see these buildings pop in. They're going to be about that same height. I think that's going to look pretty cool in this area. Can we add a little bit more? Maybe a little bit of office space in here, though it's not. I'd rather go up in density here a little bit more. So if we were to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Yeah, so something like that, I kind of like the idea. That gives us a few little spots in here. Do we grab a little something in here? No, we do not. So maybe there's a little park that we can put in there if we need one. We can then also do a slightly more higher density on this side also. So let's get a little bit more commercial going on here. And actually this time around, give me this tool again, so we kind of just clear that out a little bit. And then I'm thinking we'll grab ourselves a little bit, some of the mixed use pieces. Let's get at least a little section of mixed use there. And maybe another one in that location. And then what we'll do is a little bit more kind of high density. Let's do a 3x3 here. Okay, that's not bad. And then back to a 2, something like that. Okay, so it's generally just 2s going in there. That one's going to be a slightly higher, which I think is okay. So this area is improving itself a little bit. So what we could do, we had a bit of an accident over here. What's the parking? Wow, actually parking is going crazy in this area. Okay, so I think actually I'm going to start by doing a little bit more work here, but I just want this this high density zone to start popping in a little bit. So I'm thinking, let's go unsnapped. That's pretty good there. And I wouldn't mind having it
somewhere in the city.
Road maintenance services have already been dispatched, and traffic flow should return to normal. But if you're
so that's not going to take out any of my trees, is it? No, it's not. Beautiful. I like that. And we'll run it back there. We'll do a bit of a straight line for this guy. We won't put the crossing in there, but we'll do something like that. And then what we'll do is we'll make sure we tie this one in there. Again, I can't see because of this. Come on. Doesn't want to, so I don't want to, don't want the crossing just there, just that. Something like so, and then we could actually do a little bit more in here too. So now that we've got that going on, we might be able to squeeze in another little one like this. And maybe even another one like that. There we go. That's going to be reasonable next to the low rent area there. This is the bigger building here. Okay, so now people are... Yeah, this is looking a little bit good, a little bit better. Kind of our little central area, little hub over here. We can now also probably add a little bit more in this area. Here we go. 3 more like so. That should be pretty good. Actually, these are... That's okay. I think that's going to be fine. That's going to be pretty good. Nice little area. People are walking. What we can also do is, of course, make sure that we do, in fact, tie in where it's sensible to do so. So here we'll do another bit of a at least we've got people can easily kind of join each of these paths nicely, and we can obviously do a little bit more in terms of trees and stuff like that at the back here. Pedestrian walkways and things like that will also be pretty good. I mean, pedestrianized streets at some point. We've got the parking lot in here at a pretty high rate, and at some point we're going to start taking parking away as we get extra lanes and stuff to go in some of these locations. But I think in general that's pretty good. More fires and the likes. How's our office areas doing? We're running quite a few offices up this area. That's okay. And then we've got some of these little areas in here. Okay, now let's expand this road network over here a little bit. We are talking about, let's see about unlocking some more roads. Let's get the large roads unlocked. We'll get the intersections unlocked. We'll get the roundabouts unlocked. We'll leave the other items in there at the moment. So if we were to have a look at what our large roads offer us at the moment. See, now this is starting to get much bigger. Don't think we need that just yet. Similarly, this becomes a bit of a, okay. That's pretty cool. I do like what the road tools offer us. Medium roads, right? This is what we have over here. And we certainly can do the separated one. So let's do the upgrade here. We'll separate it as appropriate. Yeah, absolutely. Let's use the separated road. We'll give ourselves the nice tool there, and we'll switch on the contours so we can kind of see this road needs to go into that area. And then I think we need a bit of almost a beachfront kind of area here. So let's start off with the road there. And if we were to say this is going to be pretty high density, give me this thing again. Okay, so that one that way. We'll do a little bit of this. Okay, now the question is, do we try and get another one going? Actually, if we do this, can we do parallel? Sorry, I'm going to redo it and use the parallel road to see if that'll work for us a little bit better. Let's try that one more time. We'll grab the normal roads here. I would like a parallel road. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, I like that. Okay, it's not ideal right over here because we've got the turns and the stuff going on. But it's not too bad. That section looks pretty good, actually. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to then bring in this intersection to go in there, and we'll do those as one ways, I think. So let's get the medium road again. We'll try and no parallel at the moment. Yes, excellent. Let's do that. So something like that. There we go. I don't mind that situation at all. And now, instead of having this look the way it is, actually what we can do is we can actually look at some roundabout solutions in some of these. But let's do the one-ways first, and then we'll have a look at those roundabout options for us. So if we go, let's say we're coming in the right-hand side, and we want to replace it, of course. So let's do the one-way that way, and the one-way... actually, we can go all the way through. One way that way, and the one way up to there. Now, that is a pretty reasonable one. So that should work fairly well with traffic lights. And what I'll do, instead of actually just looping them all around, we'll just do, forget about the parallel tool for now. Yeah, maybe what we'll do is let's just do that so that we can expand what we're doing with it in the future. So let's just do this and do that for the time being, and that kind of gives us our area here. Now, what I was interested in is maybe looking to see if we can do something like this. If we go slightly bigger, like that, is that a reasonable interaction? So these guys will actually have to give way to people coming out of there. I'm not sure that'll actually work in the end for us, but it may work as a starting point at least. And what we could do, yeah, no, I think that's reasonable. That's reasonable. So we could do like a nice beachfront kind of area here, and what we can also do is we can do a bit of a promenade or something to that nature in the future. So for the time being, what are we thinking of in here? Higher density stuff. Shall we try high density stuff? And or what I'm hoping is let's just start small. So if we were to say, let's give ourselves a bit of room next to this area here, and if we were to do this, these are pretty tall stuff. Okay, if we were to go 3 instead, how tall would that be? Oh no, that's gonna go straight out. Okay, no, then we're definitely not doing high density. We should be doing medium density. So let's instead do medium density. I think that's going to be better. So if we were to do that, what does that look like? Yeah, I think that's going to be much nicer. So if we do that, and then on this side we do something like this. So we'll have some commercial strips and things going over there. We'll see how that works, basically. So they'll have to go in there all the way the other side. But what we can also do is we can, of course, every now and again, just have a bit of a road in here where we just make sure that this is actively working. So people can actually make the turn every now and again. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. Going to be an interesting little area. What I would like to do is also see about, potentially dragging out a little bit more of a road network here. Put on that ridge there, and what we'll do is we'll tie that in this location there, so we'll effectively adding a little bit more intersections here to create a little bit more interest there. And what we'll do is we might be able to do, let's just do a similar one through this way here. Excellent. Now, can we... Here we go, that would work. This guy can turn in that way or can just go straight this way. That'll work, And now we can do something a little bit more interesting up here, maybe. We'll do something like that, and what I'll do is I'll just put one of these guys on the end there. So a little bit of that, because this is going to be, you're not going to You're not going to really do. You might be able to do a little something up here, right? No, it's a little steep, I think. Anyway, it's going to look pretty interesting if we make that work. And then what we can do... Oh, this can work. Can it? Can it work? Is that a reasonable downhill? What's the grade there? 10%. No, 10% is a bit much. What we'd rather do is we'd add another intersection here. We started out at 90, and we slowly hug the corridor there. Do we? Yeah, if we're respecting the terrain, I think that's about right. And in which case we can potentially run it straight through here. And then we can actually even tie it in. Can we tie it in here? Not really, I think. So we could obviously bring it in. You don't want it to tie it in over there. Let's leave it for the time being. Can we do something there? No, the school is absolutely in the way, but we could maybe do something there.
And on to our main feature story. The commercial district is booming as the area is attracting.
No, let's try that again. Let's try that again. Try and get it a little bit straighter out of this. That's too close.
Or so my wife tells me. That's good for business and good for the community.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, it's kind of snapping to the building there. That's an interesting one. And look at these line markings here. People can get in here, yeah, and tie in on that side and come out that way. Yeah, that's, and I like this little bit of interest here. Let's get that one going on. Trying to respect the.
If you're in it, you already know about it. No use reminding you.
Is that okay? Yeah, that seems pretty logical. Now I think we can do a few more things here. And these guys here are a little. Yeah, I like that kind of density. I think that density makes sense here. This is a bit of an intersection here that's interesting. This one will become quite busy over time, I'm sure. So we'll leave a little bit of room around it just to make sure we can upgrade that to become much bigger. This one is okay. That actually gives you access into this kind of downtown area without needing to drive down here. So it's a bit of a potential bypass that you can use. These generally are not connected really well, and this Glade Street connection here is an interesting one. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. What we can do is now just start providing some additional residential areas here. So again, I'm going to go with some larger plots like so. I'm going to try and maintain some of the trees here. Okay, that's okay. We'll start with that. We can obviously do some additional lanes and things like that. I do like how much this area is opened up here. And is there anything else that we'd be adding here? Extension wings there and there, so that's okay. School library and an extension wing, that's fine. So we really won't be using much more of this area. So what we can quite comfortably do is we can actually run a bit of a laneway in here. Give me the laneway. And we'll straighten it up like so. And we'll basically say you're going to come off of that, and we'll tie you in. There we go. And in order to, well, do we want to maximize density here more? don't know if we want to be honest, but we certainly can do, we can do something like this. Oops, there we've broken it. Anchor Lane and Lilac Lane. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting little area. And what we'll do is we'll dense this one up a little bit more in terms of these kind of buildings. So let's do a little bit of this. I want to do a small little low density commercial there. It's like a corner shop or something. We'll do a bit of that. Actually, we'll start filling in these things a little bit more. Let's just do something like that. Now, if we were to maybe just do them 5 deep there. No, there's enough room. Well, 5 deep on this side. See how they fill in? Yeah, that's pretty good. And we'll do 5 deep on this side also. So there's a little bit of a nature strip to the back there. And then ultimately we need to see what we do there. That's okay. That's working pretty well. So if we do 4 deep over this way, that's okay. We'll do maybe 4 deep over there, 3 deep there, 3 deep there, 3 deep all the way through there. Yeah, this is going to be good. This is getting a little tight, so we'll leave that in there. And then we'll do maybe the 2 deeps on this side, maybe a little gap there. We'll leave a bit of a gap there so that we can run a bit of a path through there maybe. A couple of larger plots there. Yeah, that's actually pretty good, I think. Yeah, these will work nicely as larger plots also. A little bit of extra room in there. That's pretty good. So there's a few extra spots for people to be living in. I might leave that open for now because we'll see about what our expansion looks like over there. So that's a slightly more, area, kind of a residential area behind the school there. I'm kind of tempted to do a little bit of commercial in here. A little bit of commercial. So if we were to say, grab ourselves, so I don't want it on there. You know what? A little bit of commercial on here is going to be really nice. So if we just do something like that, get ourselves a bit of commercial going on here, something like that. Yeah, what we need to do is we need to just close this out from this road, and also from that one. If we do that, that should be okay. So if we do that, that'll be fine. Now, if we just do the 3 deep there and the 3 deep there. So Glade Street over here becomes a little bit of a commercialized little section. Little commercial strip here where people can walk through and do their thing. There's some parking over here. So this area is becoming a little bit more interesting right there. I do want to kind of get rid of this and hopefully it doesn't break my zonings. There we go. So that's pretty cool. A little interesting area there with a little bit more activity. The connectivity through here isn't great. We do have police cars driving through there, but that's okay. Don't mind that at all. Okay, there we go. That's a start of some further expansion. So we need to have a bit of a look at what we're going to do with all of these areas. From a level difference perspective, we can't really go there. We might be able to sneak our way through a little bit of an activity access point here. But generally speaking, all good. You're going to struggle to get this area. Yeah, so it's a little convoluted. So we're going to try and get people not to rat run through this area. What is that? Is that a caravan? Look at that. Moving in. Oh, 2 people out of the caravan. Nice. I like it. Welcome to the neighborhood. I do like the fact that we're maintaining 1 or 2 of these big trees over here. A fairly nice little area. Nice and low density here. A little bit more interesting than these massive grids that we're getting here. which I like. I kind of like that idea a fair bit. And I do like the interesting kind of road networks that we get in some of these locations. Kind of wondering whether we can even widen this a little bit. Maybe not right now. Actually, what would that look like? If we were to go with that, and we didn't snap it, and we try to do... actually be pretty interesting. Would actually be pretty interesting to get that to work. That would actually look very nice if we ended up doing that. Yeah, let's do it. Let's have a look at that. So now we've got Birch Street running into Birch Street over there. So that's actually a pretty nice little one. But this little section is one way. So it's monitoring the traffic a little bit better. That's the one way in there. So at least it's a wow. This is not signalized? Neither is that? Wow, that's an interesting one. Oh, I might have switched off the signals there, to be honest. Why is this one feeding into the middle there? Yeah, this is quite an interesting one that it's doing that. Really needs to be feeding into that one so that these guys can all run all the time, really. But anyway, I think that's interesting enough, and we'll see how that plays out in the future. I think I'm going to leave this episode here. We do need to expand this a little bit. I probably need to purchase that tile as well. Great Town is very slow in terms of its expansion. I do need to do a few more things, and we do need to think about what else we want to unlock in some of these areas. We've got very little in terms of the power stuff at the moment, and we really just need to expand a little bit and deal with some of these higher density demands. What does this area look like? Oh, it's pretty good, actually. Pretty good. Upgrading and getting there. Little cluster of higher density right here. Little pathways around the school. School should have... Oh, it's actually running out of capacity a little bit. Instead of expanding that one, I probably just need to add another one somewhere else. We need to have a look at some of these things and just need to expand things a little bit. So some of these areas might end up becoming a bit more dense. I think this area here would be a lot denser. I wouldn't mind densifying most of this, really. Just doing maybe even more of the row housing, just to get more people in. At the moment, we're losing a little bit of money. But we are growing slowly, but we are growing, and we do need to up our density. I think in the next episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to really come in and densify this area, go up to the at least row housing density, and then we'll up dense, high gardens over here. We'll densify here around the commercial area, and we'll leave the school there. The school will be like a center of town little piece here, but I think we're going to densify this area a fair bit, and we'll continue to sprawl the suburbs out that way. I'm thinking about a little bit of density down here as a bit of a kind of nice area on the water, which may end up sprawling all the way. It might be a very long little, because of this little hill here, I think it might look really nice for us just to expand that all the way through and have some connections through the through this kind of ridge here where it makes sense, and yeah, maybe tie in more of an industrial vibe over here. Maybe even start an actual port in this area here. I'm kind of tempted to maybe have a bit of a look at that. Then our arterials will actually do well. This will look really nice in terms of a higher density area here, and I'll then even densify on that side, maybe even fill in a little bit more next to the park and the likes. Yeah, it'll be good, and we can kind of leave some of these mansions in here, the Rock Musicians Mansion in there, because they kind of were there to start with or something. This is pretty good to do some of these things. Guys, okay, I'm going to leave it there. Tell me what your thoughts are in terms of our current planning. What do you think my plan is for dealing with this ridge? Do you think that's pretty good, respecting the landscape as much as we probably can, and still providing reasonable access? What do you think about the teardrop we've got going on there? But yeah, we need to fill in a fair bit more. But I do like the idea that we're kind of dealing with the landscape in an appropriate way. And we can kind of see if we do some more roads into this area, maybe off of Birch Street, really. Somewhere over there, we run some nicer other roads in there to kind of sprawl the suburbs into this area a bit more. Now that we can also make this area a bit bigger as well, I think that might be of interest for us in the future. But all in all, looking pretty good. Okay, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.